Hello,
Welcome to the League of Free Worlds Information System.
and welcome back to this Colony Wars playthrough. Last time we dealt with the introductory missions, and now the menus you have to go through to load a saved game seem a little odd. Usually the load command is either the first or second option right at the top, and this one you have to go to memory card options within options. Oh well.
Lights on the 7 planets of Galanaya were extinguished as the invasion threat grew. We even built anti-reflectors over the phosphorus lakes of Acheron. They'd have attracted the Navy like moths to a flame. And somewhere on one of those terrified planets was the Father, watching, waiting, preparing himself and his army for the onslaught. Everyone knew the Earth wanted to take Galanaya and crush the League forever. But no one knew the Father. In those dangerous times, we trusted a stranger, and he, in turn, trusted us.
Current war
Acheron is a really
suggests
weird
that
planet, by the
consolidation of
way.
League
According to the
activity
report,
within
it is
Galanaya
completely
now
organic.
vital.
Not
League
like
Command insists that the Galanaya
life
battle
force, but
platform
more
must
like
be
a
seized from
huge
Imperial
spherical
control to prevent
plant.
further costly Navy incursions. Intercepted Navy data transmissions indicate imminent transfer of troops and hardware to Galanaya. League Command plan to transmit false data from platform in order to prevent this. For this to be achieved, it is imperative that this mission is carried out within a strict time buffer. Ensure that battle platform is disabled within the time allocated. Platform shields and sensors must be lowered. Platform must remain undamaged to enable subsequent League assault landing.
Remember when I said the fighter you get is whatever could reach the situation in time? Operations like capturing a battle platform are kind of an exception, for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is a large space station and it's not really going anywhere. And also, the tools required to capture something like this are you have them or you don't.
Attention.
If you don't have a fighter that
Fighters
can
detected.
disable
Eliminate
a platform,
time until capture
ouch,
force frigate
that's
reaches
rude.
target.
Anyways,
5
if you
minutes.
don't have those
Let's get rid of these
particular
fighters
specialized
first, then disable
tools,
this
you don't
monster.
even have a mission in the first place. The Hydra, which is what we're piloting right now, is what I would describe as a heavy fighter. It has It has missiles rather than torpedoes, and this scattergun, especially, is a very nasty anti-fighter weapon. It's kind of universal. It can destroy both shields and hull. It fires very rapidly and in a spread, so you're likely to hit with something. But it overheats quickly, so it's not great for fighting capital ships. As for the tool that will allow us to capture the station, well, give it a little time. We have a couple more Thunderchilds to deal with first. Yeah, I'd call it a burst weapon rather than a DPS weapon, this one. Very effective, though.
Right. Let's take out this platform. Use your EMP weapons, pilot.
Well, this thing has a lot of guns, but fortunately they're really spread out, so if we change our direction a little bit, we can avoid most of it. And there's the EMP gun. Probably introduced for capture missions like this, it attacks the electrical work as displayed by the lightning icon in the lower right. And once reduced to 0, the target is stunned, and if you keep hitting it with the MP, it just won't ever recover, and that's what's going to allow us to capture it. This is, well, its projectile is too slow to use on
Battle
fighters, and
platform
you can just
Well
scattergun them instead. But it's
Commencing
kind of
jump
overpowered
sequence.
against Fleetcraft. I'm going to try to not use it if I can possibly avoid it, because aside from it working a little bit too well, it also leads to some monotonous stuff where I just keep firing against a large ship that cannot shoot back. It's kind of boring. I think it would be better if you had to disable the enemy's shields before the EMP gun would work. That would kind of cement it as the specialized tool they kind of make it out to be.
Highest priority. Intelligence data confirms transfer of Navy military hardware to Gallinair Zone. The future success of League activities is reliant on maintaining a secure home system in this region. League reinforcement forces are now prepared to attempt a landing on the battle platform. Platform defenses have been disabled, enabling passage for landing parties. Craft technicians are currently confirming completion of pre-flight procedures. Protect all League craft involved in this mission. Assault craft must reach platform.
And that is step 2 of the Capture the Battle platform mission. Later on, we're going to deal with both steps as part of one mission instead of it being separated into 2 like this. We're also using the same fighter.
This is command. Platform defenses are down. Commence second stage of assault.
Now, it'll help a lot if we can deal with these fighters quickly. My aim is still a little suspect, I'm afraid. But at least I'm not so likely to fumble around switching weapons when I meant to fire them.
I need cover now!
Yeah, that Hydra accompanying us is not in for a good time.
You are targeting friendly craft.
Oh, that warning, by the way, is so important that the music actually stops when the game thinks you're targeting a friendly. Ooh, when that thing starts to pick up speed, that's trouble for us. It tends to dash around quite a bit. By the way, it says that no matter where you are or what you're doing. That's just the announcement that the APC is launched from your League frigate. Now, at first, the arrival of more Thunderchilds after you deal with the first one or two might indicate that you have to deal with an unlimited amount until your APC reaches the platform, but fortunately that's not the case. Things are getting a little close if our APC's shield is down, though. The good news is that once you start dealing some hull damage, well, assuming you don't annihilate it right away, an enemy fighter will change targets to you even if it was going after something else. And now that that's done, the enemy reinforcements will be tornadoes from now on, which are much more lightly armed, and also they appear from pretty far away, so they're not much of a threat. As demonstrated right there. Well, once the APC reaches very close distance, a gate will open in the platform and the APC will just go right on in. I don't know what hardware the troops are loaded with, but it must be really good. You just saw the gate closing behind it right there.
Assault Force has taken control of the battle platform.
Because that's not a large ship, and one loadout of troops is apparently enough to take out or capture that entire platform. That 7-to-1 ratio seems really good, but don't be fooled. The Navy is much, much larger than the League.
Navy activity beyond the Gallinair warp hole is increasing. Intelligence reports indicate that bomber operations are being targeted on the battle platform. Heavy attacks on League battle platform forces are now expected by enemy ships traversing Warp Hole. System security procedures have been placed on an alert footing. Warp Hole closure is imminent. Intercept and destroy all enemy craft in platform region. Ensure adequate firepower to cover execution of Warp Hole closure. Expect significant Navy interference.
So the short of it is, we're about to close the method that the Navy uses to reach Gallinair, which is good. However, it cannot be done fast enough that the Navy does not have a chance to take back the platform, and obviously we want to prevent that. Now this craft that we're carrying, right? This craft that we're piloting right here is an actual bomber as opposed to a heavy fighter, and I'll explain why once that becomes relevant.
5 minutes. We've got fighters coming through the warp hole.
Yeah, Stormlords are also what I would call heavy fighters. They have rear turrets even. That warp hole effect behind us is really nice, though. I think they must have put a lot of work into that one. Well, one thing that the Stormlords have going for them is that one burst of scattergun is not enough to take a Stormlord down before you start overheating. Well, even if you hit all your shots, which clearly I have some trouble with. This was made before we had controllers that all had analog control, by the way. It was an optional thing, but the controllers you got with the PlayStation didn't come with that.
This is Command. A large enemy
we got ourselves a torpedo, which is going to help here.
This poses a major threat to Gallinair platform.
Oh, that thing comes in fast, doesn't it? Well, I think that's ineffective, having some momentum from the warp hole. Anyway, the plasma gun right here is the real reason this is classified as a bomber. It is a bombing weapon. Its range is short, the projectile is very slow. However, you can use this to destroy a cruiser in fairly short order. Unfortunately, we have something else selected as the target right now, but yeah. Shields down already, and hull going down very fast. So hooray for plasma cannons! Also, this bomber has an extra little trick to help it deal with fighters. It's pretty fun. And that is the grapple gun. And now that fighter just can't get away from me. I guess I'm too heavy, or my engines are stronger than its engines are, or something. Anyway, the grapple gun can be used to pull really heavy stuff. That'll be important later, but right now, great for capturing fighters. Well, quote-unquote capturing them. You can't even stop the grapple gun with anti-missile flares. It's just instant.
This is battle platform.
Ooh! Wow, that was a little scary.
Navy Titan has been crushed. Clear surrounding area of enemy craft and return to base.
Ooh, that capital ship was kind of depending on them causing some trouble and preventing the warp hole closure before it got here, huh? There is probably not enough time to capture the platform, so they're probably hoping to, I don't know, aim for crew compartments or something to knock the battle platform out of commission for long enough.
Mission complete. Come back on board.
But it didn't work.
Docking sequence.
Alright, that worked out pretty well. Well, for us. Didn't work out so well for them. Now, when saving the game, I'm gonna create a new one, and that's because this is where the first plot branch can happen. The save file I'm creating right now is for the timeline where I succeed at stuff. And this is going to be a fairly important timeline, as you can imagine.
It had been a baptism by fire for the League's fleet. But now we'd tasted victory, and it was a flavor we liked. Though even in the midst of all that joy, there was bitter resentment against the Tsar. He tried to tear apart our homes, and we knew he'd only failed because his forces were spread too thinly. Perhaps he didn't quite expect the guts and passion that the League delivered, but now he knew what we were capable of. He would undoubtedly try again. Unless, of course, we got him first.
Well, you heard the man. This plot branch takes us on the offense to deal with Navy supplies and distribution. A really big step forward. But what if we didn't succeed? Now there's an idea for you.
Hull status critical. Auto ejection procedure complete.
Wasted and drained, League fleet pilots dragged their ships across star fields riddled with snipers. Friends lost friends, families lost sons and daughters. Brothers and sisters were torn apart in the Navy's drive to end the threat from Galanaya. We fought on, but we felt desperate. It took us so long to secure Galanaya that the Navy had time to regroup and look elsewhere for its spoils. This time, it would try to take Diomedes. League forces were split and struggling. We had too many rookies and a star system to lose.
Well, instead of going on the offensive, securing Galanaya was so grueling and resource-intensive that we're put on the back foot and have to defend other important holdings of ours. Things are looking pretty grim. We're going to take a look at that particular series of missions, that plot branch. But before we end the video, you might be wondering what exactly a battle platform is and what it does. So let's take a look at that. But sit down, this is going to be a long one. I wouldn't blame you if you're short on time and don't really want to look at it. That's okay. In that case, I'll see you next time. But moving on.
War Sphere Battle Platform. Mdenka Corp was founded in 4122 as a small-scale research cooperative specializing in the development of cattle transport systems. Within 20 years, it had conceived and planned the single most revolutionary invention of the expansionary era, namely jump engine technology. The aim of jump engine technology was to reduce the time taken traveling large distances in space. Its effect was to open up the universe to merciless exploitation by Earth. All jump engines work in a similar way, regardless of their size. By projecting an energy tear into the space surrounding the controlling ship, the engine is able to create a jump gate through the tear to a pre-calculated exit point. Unfortunately, the accuracy of this calculation is dependent on the length of the tunnel. For safety reasons, the maximum range of any untethered tunnel is estimated to be 1 million kilometers. This allows for an error of up to 1.5 kilometers around the predicted exit point. Interstellar jumps require a tethering system to be in place before jumping can occur. In these instances, the tear is governed by a controlling vessel located at both the entry and exit points. Such tethered jump gates are known colloquially as warp holes. The X-27 warp hole engine is the latest incarnation of this technology. The model occupies the vast majority of the mass at the center of the War Sphere battle platform. These platforms, located at either end of a tear, are able to sustain a warp hole between two systems, long enough for many ships to pass. However, the huge power reserves required mean that warp hole opening is strictly controlled. Battle platforms can now be found throughout the occupied universe, as they are essential for warp hole communication between solar systems. Each system, requiring a link to another, must first install a suitable battle platform. One platform is required for each tunnel to each individual system. Despite vast funds and centuries of research, miniaturization of the jump engine has not progressed sufficiently to create an engine capable of being fitted to a fighter-class ship. However, small jump engines can be fitted to the majority of fleet craft. These are now regarded as a standard fitting for all fleet craft making interplanetary journeys. Any authorized ship may enter the jump gate, including the ship that created it. The traveling ship is then sucked through to the destination point. In order to prevent unauthorized travel through open gates, a ship-encoded security signal is required before a ship can travel through. If the traveling ship's signal does not match that required by the gate entry, the gate will implode, causing massive damage to the unauthorized ship. The amount of energy required to open a jump gate is exponentially proportional to the size of the traveling ship, and proportional to the distance to the target area. It is also affected by the length of time the gate is required to remain open. Consequently, due to current war resource rationing, it is impractical to open gates for general travel. Small ship jumping is only permitted where an immediate response or rescue is required. Large ship jumping is only authorized in emergency situations. Any unauthorized or unjustifiable jumps will result in pilot court-martial.
Massive damage is right. I think that was talking about a warp gate created by a fleet craft. As far as closing a full warp hole between battle platforms, well, Navy Titans are very large and durable ships, and you saw the effect on it. Pretty gruesome stuff. Anyway, I believe that's it for now, so I'll see you next time.